Welcome everyone to the channel. Thank you so much for joining. So Warner Brothers and DC have dropped this behind the scenes look of The Flash, except this is more like a behind the scenes of the return of Michael Keaton. I mean, this is the returning of Michael Keaton, and what I've written down here has been over 30 years since he has donned the cape and cowl. And this is pretty fantastic. And they decided to do this little behind the scenes showing. And I was like, you know what? Let's all watch this together. I mean, I'm pretty excited about it. I did watch The Flash. I thought it was an enjoyable film. And no, on Michael Keaton was not the reason that this movie did not do well. I mean, he's definitely one of the stars, and he comes right into the character just like he left it back in 1989, and it's freaking fantastic. But you know what? This is a behind the scenes. I'm really curious what they're going to show, and it seems pretty exciting. So let me go ahead and get ready to do this. All right, you guys ready? I'm ready. Here we go. Wow, man, look at that. Look at that.
For me, it was very exciting. The idea of bringing back Michael Keaton as Batman, you know, obviously because I saw Batman in the movies when I was a teenager.
To be honest, the fact that we'd be able to
Same
bring
here.
Michael Keaton back as the Tim Burton Batman was one of the things that cemented our decision to make The Flash.
Look at that. God, it looks so good. Let's get nuts. Yes. Again. So cool.
We get Michael Keaton Batman. You know, when I read that, I was just knocked out.
As soon as I read that Michael Keaton was in, you know, the whole idea of this multiverse, and wow, it was just shocking.
That was the clincher. When you turn the page and you realize who it is, you think, oh, that's great.
Yes.
It's like bringing back
Yes.
a classic. It's like bringing back the Beatles. Many people probably think that they won't see that again in their lifetimes, and they have to content themselves with rewatching the old movies, you know,
Yeah.
Batman and Batman Returns. That's why it's so exciting, I think, for people that were affected by the first Batman to see that Batman is coming back again.
God, man, that's so exciting because, I mean, this is just really exciting. Just seeing all of this. I mean, he makes a really good point. I mean, this is a lot of, at least my generation's first time really getting into Batman. I mean, we knew Batman from the comics. We knew Batman from, you know, the old TV show from back in the day, like clips of that. But this was like my Batman growing up. So this is really cool to see him back in this role. And look at that. Look at that, man. He
The
looks so
Keaton
good.
Batman, probably the one with the longest arc and more complex arc.
Michael Keaton's Batman
Wow.
adds heart.
Look at
He
that.
is a very human.
Ooh, check out that shot. That's a nice shot right there. God, it gives me chills every time I see it.
Batman, and he is
Wow.
reluctant to come back.
The thing with Batman in general is that this man that is immersed in this misery, in his childhood trauma, and he doesn't seem to be able to overcome it. It's the only Batman, apart from the Adam West version, that seems to have a sarcastic sense of humor about it. And I think it's very tied to a coping mechanism. He has a very dark side to him, but there's a lightness to him, and that's what I found remarkable of his performance.
What was
That's so cool, man. And he makes a really good point that he definitely, it's definitely a different Batman. The likeness and the darkness. I mean, I'm curious what they're going with this. This is really good. This is really good.
Kind of fun was that Michael Keaton's Bruce / Batman had never been a mentor. He'd always been a lone wolf. We'd never got to see him with a Robin or with anyone younger like that. And so to have him suddenly thrust into that role of mentor was just kind of fun and funny and challenging for him. And I think it's great because Barry brings to that relationship so much love, so much trust from his own Bruce. Having that kid suddenly show up in his life, it
man.
changes Keaton's Bruce over the course of the movie, and it lets the
Look
two
at that.
Batmen
Look at that.
kind of share one
Oh,
arc.
that's so good.
I really want.
Oh man, that was dope. Okay, I love the fact that they brought that up because in the original Batman, he was like a loner. I mean, those Batmans from 1989, it was really just him. And this is a whole different dynamic. I mean, time has changed. This particular Gotham, you know, he really didn't have any more criminals or anything. So he kind of just became a hermit of some sort because he really didn't have anything else to do. But that's so cool because now instead of him being alone, he has somebody with him. He kind of becomes a mentor, and it almost like he finds an invigorating way of getting back into that thing that he did at one time. So I like that they tapped onto that, man. That's pretty cool.
Defy people's expectations of where Bruce Wayne would be 30 years later. And I also wanted to deepen the backstory of Bruce Wayne. If Bruce Wayne, as the story tells, has been retired for 25 years,
God, it looks so
what
good.
happened to him? I always said something should have happened to Bruce Wayne to want to stop being Batman. And my idea was he did something that goes against his code. He killed a criminal in front of his child. Unknowingly, but he still did it.
Oh.
Which is an exact mirroring situation of what happened to him when his parents were killed in front of the Monarch Theater, and that created that monster that Batman is. So he just couldn't cope with it, and that's why he decided to shut off his other side, Batman. And he hasn't been able to forgive himself. And now the way we find him is a bit of like the evolution of that journey. You know,
Oh man. Okay, I was totally wrong. So in this particular scenario, it is because, okay, so we all know Batman had his, his parents were killed right in front of him. So in this particular situation, he wound up going down that path where he wound up killing somebody in front of their parents, and it kind of tore him up inside and eventually spiraled into being this person where he just kind of just didn't feel comfortable in doing it anymore. Like he became the person that he was fighting crime against. Oh man, I never, that's why these behind the scenes are good, because I'm getting another layer into why he was this way in this movie. Okay.
he's a tragic figure. He's basically a character that is in search of redemption, but eventually finds a way to do it by helping Barry.
Want some help?
Wow. Oh, look at the costumes. They look so good. Man, look at that.
We prepped a lot for when Michael would arrive because he's such a huge, iconic star, and his Batman is imprinted in every retina in the world.
So good.
One of the most exciting things to take on was Michael Keaton's new Batsuit. We all know very well, particularly in the costume world, the original Batsuits that he wore in the 1989 movie and in Batman Returns, I think, 92. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to be really true to the technology involved in those costumes, the look of those costumes, and what would have happened in 30 years to those costumes. What would they have become? How would they have developed?
Oh wow, that's really cool that they did that. So they actually are looking like, what would those costumes look like 30 years later with, all the crime fighting and all that kind of stuff. I mean, if you really look here, I mean, you see this right here. I mean, look how it's worn here. I mean, you can see how it's worn. That is so cool. Look at, oh wow. But that I love that, the fact that they thought about that. Like, what would this costume look like 30 years later after fighting crime and stuff?
How would they have developed? One of the folklores about Michael Keaton's original costumes were that they were really constrictive and hard to move in. And then he developed as part of his character what they called the Batman lean, where, he was unable to look up or look down, look left, look right. So he used his entire body to make those moves, very famously kind of leaning back to look up and looking down to... And so we took it on ourselves to try and create a new rubber batsuit that would be much more flexible, much more comfortable, much more usable.
But when Michael put the cowl on, the first time it was explained.
That is so cool. That was a big thing. Like, I remember growing up, and it wound up becoming kind of like a funny thing to talk about, how he would have to lean up and he would always have to turn right. Whichever way he looked, he had to kind of turn his whole body in order to look. So it was good that they kept the costume with him having to be able to still to do that, but use the material so it could at least feel a little bit more comfortable when he had to move around. But yeah, you got to have 1989 Batman, do the lean up and look down, and I mean, that's so cool, so cool. Look how he looks in his suit, man. Wow, looks good.
And I said, hopefully, Michael, we've put more movement into him. And he's go, no, I can't have that. There's no way we can have movement. It's got to be, no. I can't have that. There's no way we can. Here. The first time it was explained to him, I said, hopefully we've put more movement into him. And he's go, no, I can't have that. There's no way we can have movement. It's got to be That's that's the really important thing. Okay, Corey, we will make sure it's nice and for you, trying to help, best laid plans and all that.
We got a report from Alex Byrne, our costume designer, that he had gone very emotional when he first put on the suit because it had been 30 years.
To see Michael in the suit, that was incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's a film memory I'll definitely take with me.
Wow, he said he had gotten emotional when he put the suit on. I could imagine. It had been 30 years since he had done this character in. I mean, he did Batman 1 and Batman 2, and that was pretty much it. He never really put the cape and cowl on again, but I could imagine him getting emotional putting that on and getting back into that character. I'm sure it was something that he really enjoyed doing. So the fact that he was able to do it again, I could imagine how his emotions were. And look, I'm sure everybody else on set was blown away by seeing him in this costume. I mean, look at that, man. I mean, this all looks freaking great.
Definitely take with me.
Michael is the ultimate pro. He plays everything very small, to the degree that you almost can't catch it. But then it's projected onto the big screen, and it is unbelievable. The amount of control he has over his face muscles, his eyebrows, his eyes, his mouth, even when it's done at the smallest.
Acting 101,
he's
man.
telling you exactly what needs to be told.
This guy's a
You want to
god.
get nuts?
Well, it's
Exactly what needs to be told.
You want to get nuts?
Yes.
Let's get nuts.
And it's something that I had never seen to that extent. For me, it was magic. And I think for...
Man, look at how he looks at this. I mean, it's like I'm just seeing Batman again. I mean, they captured it, man. They really did. Wow.
And I think for Andy, too.
You're strapped to your parachutes.
Working with Michael Keaton was insane. It was so cool. The dude is so fit.
awesome,
I don't know where the fountain of youth is, but he must be swimming in it. Honestly, the guy is a ninja. There was this day when we were filming in the kitchen, we were doing the rehearsals, and Andy was just showing on an iPad Michael the footage of the sequence that was happening.
Oh, wow.
And Michael just like jumped up like on the table and was just like there, just like, oh yeah, cool. Okay, yeah, got it. And then I was looking at Michael Keaton on this table. I was like, dude, what are you doing on the table? Like, seriously. I put my hand out to offer to help him down, and he just went, oh yeah, I'm cool.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool, man. That's how you know he was just really into the character. I mean, he embodied this character. He freaking did everything. And the fact that he's even like, I'm Bruce Wayne for as long as I'm on this set. I'm going right back to the day one time I was filming Batman. I mean, that's freaking awesome, man. You got to respect that, man. This guy is a freaking legend, man. Michael Keaton's a legend.
Michael Keaton's Batman is iconic. There are some very specific moments that it's important the camera gives the audience exactly what they want.
Yeah.
There are probably 3 points in that, dramatically. First, when he's revealing his ears and his costume.
Look at that.
The second, obviously, is when we reveal it's Michael as Batman for the first time, which sends a chill down the back of my spine. The last moment is his "Let's get nuts" line. And it's just making sure that those moments are just right, because they give so much pleasure to so many billions of people.
It was
Michael's
big.
son and his grandson were in Leaveston visiting one day, and Michael told me when I did Tim Burton's Batman, Sean is his son, was 4 years old, and now my grandson is 4 years old, and he's seeing his grandfather as Batman. And that was very emotional for him, and of course for us as well.
Man, I could imagine that. I mean, it's been 30 years. So when he did Batman in 1989, his son was only 4, and now he's doing it with his grandson. Wow, I could imagine how emotional that can be. You know, I mean, you're donning the cape and cowl and just seeing how you're portraying a character when it was your son, and now these generations have gone by and you're doing it again with your grandson. I can imagine that being emotional. I mean, you can even see it here. I mean, he's really getting in the character, and it's probably all the emotions going through him for him to not only put this on, but to say the lines, you know, let's get nuts.
I think Keaton didn't know how he was going to feel about being this character again. But to be honest, I think he's walking away from this movie with a lot of love for Batman.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Look at that. He's giving it all right here. Oh, man. Wow. Oh, man. Wow. That was good. That was good. I really enjoyed that. I mean, this is a behind the scenes documentary, so clearly they're going to put that on the Flash DVD when it comes out. I mean, the Flash did not well at the box office, but it was not because of Michael Keaton. He really gave it on every scene that he had. I mean, he really did. You could feel it penetrating on every freaking frame every time he was on camera, and I absolutely loved it. He had captured everything that I knew from the 1989 Batman in every scene in here, with the movements, with the everything. So it was really good to see this documentary and really seeing that he didn't phone it in. He didn't phone it in at all. I mean, he came correct with every single moment of playing this character. And to know that he got emotional putting the suit on, this is so good. That's why I love behind the scenes, because you're getting a behind the scenes look of what it really took to bring this character onto the screen. And I really love that. So this is something new I'm doing. I saw that this behind the scenes and I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and react to it and bring you guys along with watching this with me as well. This is something new I'm doing. If you guys like it, probably going to be something I'll do a little bit more. But as always, I really enjoy watching this stuff. I have so much fandom and nerddom at heart. Why not come along on this journey with me? My name is Corey Roy. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for joining. And as always, I'll be back here with another review of something